So I wanted to come on. I've actually let my window up. I don't know if that noise, I'm in behind the truck, it's kind of loud. So how has everybody made it through that blue moon that we just had? That was my moon as a Sagittarius. So it definitely impacted me. I did ritual work around it. But today I have a message from the Iyami Aje. This message, I'm going to have to say, is for women. So if I have any men who watch me, I'm not trying to leave you out purposefully, but this message is directed towards the women. Not to say that you can't listen, because maybe you have a woman in your life that the message may be meant for. So maybe you can direct them to my video, okay? Let me roll this out the way. This damn air freshener is getting in the way. Okay. So first of all, for those of you who do not know what the Iyami Aje is, the word Iyami means great mother or our mother, okay, in Yoruba. And Aje in the Yoruba language, the closest translation that they could find for the word Aje is witch, okay? So the Iyami Aje are the great mother witches, okay, or women of power. Now, in the Yoruba tradition, the Iyami are very well respected, and they are
In 600 feet.
Of like ancestral mothers, okay? And the Iyami have a lot of power on this.
Keep left to continue.
Now, the Iyami is not something that you can initiate into. So if you ever meet someone who tells you that they've initiated into the Iyami Aje, it is something that you are born into, not initiated into, okay? You are a part of this lineage of powerful women by birthright, okay? I came into the knowledge of these ancestral mothers through my work, okay? And I started to communicate. They started to
continue on Michigan.
Now, the Iyami are connected to birds, okay? Are connected to the birds. That's one of the symbols that you will see connected to the Iyami. The kings in the Yoruba tradition could not be crowned unless they were crowned by the Iyami, okay? And more specifically, the crowned high priestess of Oshun of the Iyami at that time. And if you ever look at the Yoruba kings, a lot of their crowns and their hats will have the bird over it. That's symbolizing their right, their authority to lead through the Iyami, okay? So the message is, it is time for us women of power. If you are watching me, there's a probably 95% chance that you are a blood right connection to the Iyami, okay? This is it's a lot to get out. I'm not going to be able to say everything that I need to say in this live. I am going to be starting a class on June 27th. Happy Pride Day to everybody. I love all my LGBTQ members. So happy Pride Day to y'all. I think it's interesting that you guys have Pride Month during a time when Gemini is in Gemini season. Anybody knows anything about Geminis, they are known to be bisexual, okay? They're known to be bisexual. So I think that's very interesting, very synchronistically aligned that they have Pride Month during Gemini season. But not to digress, not to get off of the subject. This is for the women, so let me get back to the subject here. Women, you're being called into power. You are being called now to reclaim your power. It is time for women to step back into their rightful place in society. The patriarchal system that we currently live in is unnatural. It is unnatural to this plane in earth that we live on, which earth is a feminine construct. The level of devastation that the patriarchal system and those who are currently in power, who are being disempowered by the hierarchy of the Iyami Aje have disrupted the natural flow and the natural energy here on earth so that they could take control and take power over this earth and make it into a masculine construct by usurping the power of the divine feminine and the feminine energy, down to even your mitochondrial DNA has been affected because of the level of degradation that these people have caused. We don't really think of the fact that everything in our society is masculine oriented, okay? Even down to the structures that we live in, the way that they are designed are of a masculine construct, okay? Before the matriarch and matrilineal system that ruled, should I say co-ruled, this earth was displaced and fell, the constructs that people use, the buildings were not these square shaped buildings with the triangle on the top, okay, which is a masculine construct. There's a reason that the state that I live in, Michigan, that originally had mounds, the conquistadors and the the explorers of that time, the people who indoctrinated us, ultimately, they had to come in and disrupt these mounds. They had to come in and disrupt the mounds all over the globe, okay? These mounds were not just burial sites. These mounds were living entities, okay? And they help to disperse and maintain the energy on this planet, okay? Which was a feminine energy. Women were the stewards of this land. In indigenous cultures, only women could inherit land. Even, before patriarchy, land, money, all of that stuff in families were passed down to the women, okay? So this has taken a long time. Many years, okay? Many generations to disrupt the natural order of things is what I'm saying to you. They did these things to disrupt the natural order of things that naturally favored and put women into positions of power, okay? I'm going to say this. Kamala Harris was supposed to be the first woman president. There was so much spiritual energy, so much witchcraft that Donald Trump, y'all overlook Donald Trump, y'all. Y'all better look at this man. This man is a warlock, okay? Please understand who and what you're dealing with, okay? This man is a warlock. It took a lot of magic, a lot of spells, okay? A lot of manipulation to change that destiny, to augment that, because she wasn't standing. She could have. She had the spiritual backing. She had the spiritual backing of ancestors, but she did not have the spiritual power of the people, okay? In other words, the Iyami, the women, we needed to do more than vote. Simply voting for her was not going to be enough with this level of obtrusive magic that was being done, okay? The Iyami feel like, as women, we have to step into our power. Us melanated women, we give our power away. We think our power lies in how attractive we are to men. If we can be somebody's sugar baby. Like, I watch on social media and I see so many melanated women who are finding their way to magic, spirituality, and occult, and they're deciding to reside in the shallow end of the pool. They want to do a bunch of glamour magic and a bunch of sugar baby magic. And don't you realize that the power is already yours? The wealth is already yours. All you have to do is step into your power and align with your birthright. Okay? These people, these men, these systems have usurped our power. And it is time for us to reclaim it. How do you reclaim your power? Through knowing thyself. Do you truly know who you are? Do you know the power that resides within you? Do you know who your ancestors are? Do you know what they did? These are the things that you have to uncover in order to reclaim your power. It is time to reclaim your spiritual birthright power as women. No longer can we play the victim. Yes, we've had a lot of things done to us. And yes, we have been victims, but we can no longer accept those roles. I talk to women every day who come to me and they need spell work, they need ritual work. And what a lot of them really need is to empower themselves, okay? I'm going to tell y'all something. Within the next 10 years, I'm going to phase out of doing work for people. I'm at the point now where it's time for me to teach you to fish and not fish for you, okay? It is time for us as women to reclaim our power. We are not the weaker vessel. That is a lie. That is something that we were told. That is not based on truth, nor is it based on genetic reality. Even a geneticist will tell you that the strength of a bloodline resides in the women. So we are not the weaker vessel. We have been made into the weaker vessel because we have had society feeding off of us, usurping our power, through levels of degradation that we have gone through. It is time for us to shake that, to rewrite the story, to rewrite your narrative, okay? No longer are you the victim. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you think is more powerful than you. You are more powerful than your enemies. You just don't know it. You just don't know how to tap into that power. That's why the universe and the creator allowed you to go through hell. Because they had to shake that false sense of security that you had. They had to remove all the things, the people, the places, the energies that were sapping you of your energy. Okay? It is time for you to step back into your power as the divine being that you are. And whatever condition, whatever affliction, whatever opponent, whatever issue in your life, you have the power to resolve it. You may not know how to resolve it right now, but you have the power within you to resolve that issue. You have the power within you to restore your bloodline, and that's a part of what you are here to do. The Iyami are here for you. They want to work with you. They want you to understand yourself better. They want you to love yourself more. Okay, ladies? I'm going to keep this short and sweet. It's time to take your power back from those who have taken power from you. Now, today only, okay, I'm giving half off. Half off, not for me to work for you, but for you to empower yourself, to learn for yourself, okay? Half off of the class, the course, spiritual course that I'm going to be doing June 27th. Today only, half off, okay? The discount code will be Iyami, spelled just like you see it here in this live. This is about getting re-empowered. If you've taken my classes in the past, this is not the same, okay? I'm putting in, this is not going to be the same as my previous apprenticeship classes that I've given. So if you've taken classes with me before, it may be worth it for you to come back again because I'm bringing in more information, more knowledge, we're going deeper, okay? And with this course, there will be opportunities for you to meet up with me. Okay, I'm going to have 2 opportunities throughout the 6-month course where I will have physical meetups. Okay, so we'll be able to do some things in person for those of you who either are in my state or who can get to my state. Okay, so again, if you're interested in empowering yourselves, if you're interested in reclaiming,
in 2 miles,
go to my website www.enchantingkeepers.com. Use the word Iyami. You will get half off. Today only. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Peace.